Right, so today we are discussing the crop factor on the Sony a6400, but namely the extra weird crop that you're going to get if you put it into 4K 30. It's weird, so just bear with me and we'll get through this. Okay, so prior to involuntarily upgrading my laptop, I was shooting at 1080p 30 frames a second. And there was no crop involved except for the standard 1.5 crop that you get off this sensor. So it was fine. But then when I upgraded the game and put it into 4K, I naturally just went 4K 30 because that's what I was used to. Now I will say really quick, I do personally prefer 30 frames a second as, at least to me anyway, the movements, when there is a lot of movements in the scene, it's less jarring on my eyes. But since discovering this little thing, I've now changed it to 24 frames a second, and I guess you could say I'm just getting used to it. Now I will do a video specifically on 24 versus 30, but this is purely just the crop factor discussion point. So if you're interested in that type of talk and discussion, then why not consider subscribing so you won't miss out. All right, so why is it there? Well, honestly, I don't know. Like, if you know, then please put it down in the comments below. But all I can figure out from my research is that's just how Sony designed it. To what end, I'm not sure. Now, we have been discussing what is it, but I'm just gonna say it right now. It is an extra 1.2 crop on the 1.5 that happens when you put it into 4K 30. Now, prior to figuring this whole thing out, I had no idea what I was doing wrong. I was walking along and I was trying to do a video on the Tamron 28-200, which is up here somewhere, and I'm walking along with the camera like this, as far out as I can, going, what the hell is happening? Because it was all zoomed in on my face, thinking, what the flip? And there was a lot of swearing and cursing. There wasn't actually swearing and cursing, but it just sounds more fun, I guess, maybe, when I put it in. But the point is, it was having an equivalent of almost 30 mil focal length on my face. Whereas before, when there is only the 1.5 crop, that's 25.5 mil that I'm used to on a 17 mil lens. Which is all a bit, you know, techie talky, but it's essentially an extra 5 mil zoomed in on your face, and that doesn't sound like much, but it really is a lot. Now, as I said, take it talk, but what does it actually look like? Well, let's go outside and I'm really gonna show you the difference, which I think is pretty significant when you compare the two modes together. All right, let's go. All right, so this is 24 frames a second that you are seeing right now. As you can see, I'm all in focus. I don't really have to try too much to get my body in focus, and have you not? But let's switch over to 30 and you'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, and this is 30 frames a second. Now, I have to try a lot harder to get my whole body in focus, and there isn't as much room to play with. So if I get lazy and turn my arm in like this, you get much closer view, and I just don't feel like it's too desirable. Let's just say it's not too desirable. Anyway, back to the office, and we will finish discussing in there. Okay, so I hope that helps really explain it to you. Now, whether this is a extra 1.2 on top of the 1.5 or it just equates to a 1.7 times crop, I'm not too sure. I really can't figure that one out. So again, if you know, whack it down below. But essentially, you're going to get an extra 5 mil, as I said, on top of whatever the crop factor is of the lens. So 17 times 1.5 is 25.5 for this lens that I'm talking with right now. Now, I still do use 30 frames a second, but I don't use it for face to camera shots anymore because, as you saw, it is a bit too zoomed in for my liking. But I do still use it if I want to slow down the footage that tiny extra bit, or just give it a little bit more smoothness. But yeah, I thought you should know. It's weird, I'm not sure why it happened, but I haven't found a video on YouTube that actually explains this properly, so here it is. All right, so if this has been of use to you and you have enjoyed it, then why not consider whacking that like button for me, as it really does help. It's true what they say, it actually does. And I will see you in the next one if you've subscribed. All right, peace.